The province takes a closer look at Alberta classrooms.
The priority of this committee is to make decisions quickly.
But will it make a difference for teachers? Raccoon attack.
I had no idea that they were here. Not a clue. So it was a shock.
There are more and more of them in Calgary, and this teen is now a victim.
I think the bad blood is going to boil over at some point.
And from the dungeon to WWE, Natty Neidhart on the Hart family's legacy.
When I close my eyes and think of my childhood, I think of the Hart house.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Ian White.
Good afternoon. The province has announced a task force to handle the unresolved concerns of teachers who were legislated back to work last week. Stephanie Thomas joins us now from McDougall Centre. And Stephanie, it's all to do with classroom size and complex student needs.
Ian, the Premier's announcement today, she says it's a gesture of good faith to show teachers that it is committed to addressing those concerns. But the Alberta's Teachers Association says that both those issues should have been addressed at the bargaining table. Now, the Classroom Size and Complexity Cabinet Committee has set a deadline for November 24th to collect data from across Alberta's 61 school boards. Most of the members come from the UCP cabinet bench. Non-voting members include school boards, administrators, and one executive secretary from the teachers union. Now, while the province and the ATA differ on how these issues are to be addressed, they both hope for improvement to classroom conditions.
The priority of this committee is to make decisions quickly. This committee will not spend months just to provide recommendations. The time for recommendations has passed, and the time for actions is now.
We need to address the issues that teachers are experiencing day in and day out. Regardless of a lawsuit that has been launched about the notwithstanding clause, teachers need support. Students need support.
Now, after all this data is collected throughout this month, it will be compiled and then published early in the new year. The Premier also says that she hopes that policy changes will be implemented within weeks, if not right away. Ian?
Thank you, Stephanie. With the province facing a legal challenge to its preemptive use of the notwithstanding clause and infringing on the rights of teachers, the Premier says the courts need to be a little more constrained.
Let's be clear, unelected judges making decisions without any oversight and without having to go to the people to get the democratic endorsement of their view, that's not democracy. When elected officials make decisions, that's democracy.
The upcoming court case, the Alberta Teachers Union plans to argue the use of the notwithstanding clause is unconstitutional. The provincial government says it will vigorously defend its position. The court date is set for November 20th. A new survey by Leger found Albertans are divided on the province's use of the notwithstanding clause. 50% believe it was inappropriate. 39% say it's appropriate. The remaining were unsure or did not express an opinion. The online poll took place after teachers were ordered back to work. 1,002 Alberta adults participated. The provincial government wants your opinion on whether speed limits should rise to 120 kilometers an hour on divided highways. An online survey is now underway. Transportation Minister Devin Dreeshen says he wants Albertans to be able to drive the speed limit that highways are designed for. He says modern vehicles combined with public awareness means the government can explore higher speed limits. The survey asks which highways should be prioritized for the higher limit, and there will be a mini trial on a section after the survey is reviewed.
When we looked at what we were doing in urban centers like Calgary and Edmonton, completing the ring roads, as well as the $700 million in the Deerfoot, which added an extra lane, we were saving about 20% of daily commute time for Calgarians and Edmontonians. It was something that we wanted to see, what could we do in rural Alberta to make rural commutes that much faster and safer.
The survey also asks if commercial trucks could be restricted from using the far left lanes on highways with 3 or more lanes. You can find the survey on the provincial government website until December 12th. A heap of garbage illegally dumped near some Northwest homes is causing concern. Alicia Fieldberg joins us from Kincora, and Alicia, residents and the local councillor are frustrated.
Ian, they don't know why a huge pile of garbage was dumped on a site meant for more housing, and they worry that it may have contaminated the area. There's wood, metal, concrete, a whole bunch of debris piled up in a huge mess. Now, this trash heap lies right next to homes in the community of Kincora. The junk sits on a spot designated for more housing. The city issued a stop order on the work and is investigating. Now, one neighbor says after bylaw officers showed up to stop the illegal dumping Wednesday, they saw more junk being dumped in the pile. Rockport Group owns the land, and the head of the Winnipeg-based company says it is investigating and will clean up the site. Rockport also owns GME Excavation, which had trucks on site. It also hired Calgary-based Cooney's Trucking, which also says that it is investigating. The area councillor is concerned.
It's atrocious. The fact that someone thought that that was okay in a residential area is mind-boggling to me, and it's unacceptable.
Now, the city says that dumping on private property can result in a fine of $250, and in serious cases involving construction waste and environmental damage, they can be fined up to $10,000. Ian?
Quite a mess. Thank you, Alicia. A Calgary teen says he's terrified after being bitten by a raccoon. It happened earlier this week in the southwest community of Signal Hill. Jacob Gottme was enjoying a dip in the hot tub and eating candy when it happened. The 14-year-old says the raccoon lunged at him, biting his elbow before temporarily backing off until he ran inside.
I didn't think they were so aggressive. I thought maybe they would be curious and somewhat cute, but for it to actually come up and just fight for that food was odd, very odd. I had no idea that they were here, not a clue, so it was a shock.
Exact numbers aren't tracked, but wildlife biologists have been noticing a boom in raccoon sightings in the city this year. They're often spotted in or near large green spaces. See, I'm with Jacob's mom. I grew up in Alberta, so I always thought the raccoons were cute, but no, they're not. They can be a bit of a menace, can't they?
Well, I guess especially if you're eating candy in a hot tub.
Yeah, so don't do that, I guess.
They'll come after you. Yeah. All right. The weather. I'm sure you saw some snow today at this point. It's been cold, it's been snowy in the city, and we're done with this for tomorrow, just so you know. 2 degrees is the temperature. Something fell in the studio. Okay, 2 degrees is the temperature right now. We have winds out of the north at 20 kilometers per hour. That's a chillier wind, you know, but things will be different tomorrow. It will be brighter, especially in the morning and early afternoon hours. We will have clouds increasing in the afternoon. We're looking at a high of 6 degrees and calm winds as well. So a brighter, somewhat warmer, calmer wind day for tomorrow. That's your 24-hour forecast, brought to you by Fifth Avenue Volkswagen, where you can win your ride. See dealer for details or visit fifthvw.com. Ian.
Thanks, Danielle. They're both new to their jobs this year. Next, Calgary's mayor on his conversation with Prime Minister Mark Carney. And working overtime. Paramedics are putting in more hours than many of them would like. Calgary's mayor says his conversation with the Prime Minister this week left him with the sense that Calgary will get support to help solve its biggest challenges.
There's going to need to be collaborations across every level of government, not just the city going it alone or the provincial governments or the federal government, but all of us working across jurisdiction to essentially, at the end of the day, deliver for Calgarians a safe and affordable life right here in the city. So we're very cautiously optimistic about this.
The conversation happened on Wednesday and lasted about 30 minutes. The mayor says they spoke broadly about public safety, infrastructure, and energy access. Jeremy Farkas also invited Mark Carney to visit Calgary soon. The city's annual fall survey results are out, showing 71% of Calgarians view their quality of life as good. That's up 5% from last year's fall survey, but still down over the past 5 years. Nearly 70% of respondents feel the city is on the right track to be a better city in the future. As for issues, the top concern is infrastructure and traffic, followed by policing. All right, I opened the drapes this morning and there was the snow coming down, but it's since been replaced by sunshine.
Yeah, the pavement is so warm that most of that melted on contact with the roads and with the sidewalks. I mean, there's only a little bit more time left in our year that's going to continue to happen.
Yes.
It's going to accumulate you know, at some point, but not today. It did a little in the grass. Here's a look at that live shot. We have the clouds that are starting to clear out. We're fairly done with this system. There will be a little bit of instability still, so up until about 2, 3 in the morning, there's still the chance of moisture to the west here, Calgary down to Lethbridge, but it's a smaller chance. Where we obviously still have this system is off near the Medicine Hat area. And you can also see this system is pulling in that cooler air. It's wrapping in around it, and it's switching that rainfall into snowfall as it does that. Because at this time of year, we're looking at that temperature profile around that freezing mark. So that's why we get such a mixed bag of weather. We had the freezing rain in some communities, snowfall in some communities, rainfall, especially in the far south, and especially in the far south, the wind gusts. 72 kilometers per hour is the maximum gust in Pincher Creek, and over 80 in Lethbridge, 60 in Medicine Hat. The winds will calm down for all of southern Alberta for tomorrow, but it will still be gusty up until about the midnight hour for most areas. And then you can see the cooler air that's been getting pulled down. Edmonton is at -3 right now. Drumheller and Brooks at -2. Medicine Hat at the freezing mark, so mixed precipitation. And then we're looking at +2 in Calgary. So it's a cooler day, absolutely. It will start to slowly warm up. So tomorrow will be a little warmer and certainly brighter. And no snow in the forecast for tomorrow. I mean, I want to give you some time, you know, to get those winter tires on your car. All right, by 3 a.m., this should mainly be out and off into Saskatchewan. And then for tomorrow, this is mainly sunny skies. We may have some residual cloud cover east of the QE2 and around Medicine Hat for parts of the morning. And then in the afternoon, as you can see, there will be some cloud cover that will push in along QE2 and Highway 2. Later in the afternoon. The winds again calm, and then Sunday looks like this. So Sunday's a quiet day as well, and Sunday will be much warmer. So we're starting our increase in temperature now. 6 degrees is our high for tomorrow with mainly sunny skies, some clouds increasing in the city in the afternoon hours. Check that out. Sunday, Monday, 13 degrees, and that comes with mainly sunny skies. Now, it will be a little windy. It's the wind out of the west that will start to get a little gusty. That will get us into the teens for Sunday and Monday. We'll start to lose that wind, so the wind should be calmer on Tuesday, Remembrance Day. We're looking at a high of 9, and if you're off to any Remembrance Day ceremonies in the morning hours, we will be above that freezing mark for that. And again, the wind should be calm. I will keep you posted and give you an update on Monday for your Remembrance Day forecast. All right, longer range forecast, as you can see, the teens for Sunday and Monday. Still reasonable temperatures Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday of next week. But by next weekend, we will be significantly cooler.
Alberta paramedics are working tens of thousands of hours of overtime every month. Documents obtained by the Health Sciences Association of Alberta found overtime accounts for 8 to 12% of all hours worked by paramedics. When those hours are added up, it totals more than 30,000 hours of OT across the province each month. The HSAA says hiring of paramedics has not kept pace with population growth in Alberta. Between 2022 and 2025, Alberta's population grew by 10%, but the number of paramedics grew by 4.5%. And first responders are being honored today at the Field of Crosses. The sunset ceremony is just wrapping up. Not only is it recognizing the sacrifices made by first responders, it's also paying tribute to animals in war. Sunrise and sunset ceremonies take place at the Field of Crosses every day until Remembrance Day. The Hart family from Calgary is known worldwide for pro wrestling. Just ahead, third-generation wrestler Natty Neidhart on her new book and life in the Hart House. Job numbers in Canada turn out to surprise the experts. Joining me is Robert Geary, investment advisor with the Popowich-Carmeli Advisory Group. So first of all, how did the markets close today?
Yeah, it was right across the screen for most of the day today, but Chuck Schumer and the Republicans said that they were going to try and end this government shutdown here early, potentially over the weekend here, with new funding for the next year. So that gave a little bit of positivity to the Dow and the TSX. NASDAQ still delayed, but it was a positive end to a wobbly week for sure in the markets.
Meantime, Canada's economy keeps creating new jobs.
This is a surprising report here this morning, is they expected 20,000 decline and they got 66,000 jobs added. So this was great. Unemployment fell to 6.9%. It's the first time in 3 months that that's declined. So that's good news. There's a couple of things that were really interesting under the hood with this number, though, Ian. The one was of those 66,000 jobs created, a lot of those were part-time, and a lot of those were seniors picking up extra work or a second job. So you have to start to wonder and say, hey, is this a labor market problem or is this affordability problem if people are picking up secondary and part-time jobs, especially at the 55-year age cohort and older? So an interesting jobs report, but a positive one.
And Tesla approves a new pay package for Elon Musk, and the numbers are just mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling. $1 trillion pay package. What do you get that guy for a Secret Santa gift? Who knows? But this is an interesting one because it's going to happen over 10 years. So he has to do a lot of things. There's a lot of hurdles that he has to cross to even get these. One, he has to stay on for at least 7.5 years as CEO of Tesla to even get his first reward from this. The other one is that he has to sell 1 million humanoid robots that haven't even gone into prototype yet. So there's a lot of hurdles to cause. It is a massive number. If anyone can do it, he can, but it puts a lot of power in his hands.
Okay, thanks very much. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too.
Not only are fewer Canadians traveling to the U.S., they're doing it less often. A survey by the Angus Reid Institute found 1 in 10 Canadians have made more than one trip to the U.S. in the past 12 months. Excuse me. That's down from 19% in 2023 and 21% in 2017. And a winter getaway to Arizona or Florida no longer has the appeal it once did. 70% said they would feel uncomfortable traveling south of the border this winter. Many describe new border requirements for long-term visits, such as fingerprinting, as invasive. The province reveals its plan for dealing with classroom size and complexity. Here's Tara Nelson with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Hi, Ian. A cabinet committee has been tasked with implementing recommendations from a report on aggression and complexity in schools. Coming up at 6, when families can expect to see some improvements. Plus, we'll have more reaction to the province's plan. Also ahead, a Calgary teenager shares his story of a close encounter with a raccoon, which ended up with a trip to the emergency room. We'll see you at 6. Ian.
Thanks, Tara.
I think the bad blood is going to boil over at some point. It might be here in Vegas tonight.
Natty Neidhart is carrying on the legacy of Calgary's legendary Hart wrestling family. The WWE star is the granddaughter of Stu Hart, niece of Bret the Hitman Hart, and daughter of Jim the Anvil Neidhart. And now Natty tells her story in Last Hart Beating from the Dungeon to WWE. And Natty joins us here in Calgary. Welcome back home.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ian.
Now, where we're sitting is just a stone's throw from the Hart House, which had such an enormous influence on your life. When you come back here, the memories just must come flooding back.
The first thing I did when I landed in Calgary was drive by the Hart House. It just, you know, it's where we grew up. It was my grandfather's home. It was where he built everything with the Hart family. And driving past the house and just, you know, looking at it, just seeing the lawn, like where we would have our, you know, you look in that window where the dungeon was, and it just brings back a flood of memories. But it's just really like the place. You know, when I close my eyes and think of my childhood, I think of the Hart House.
It was a bit of a refuge for you and your sisters, though, in that you had troubled times in Florida. Your dad lost his job as a wrestler. Your mom was going to the food bank. Like, you fell on really tough times. So what was it like coming back to stay at the Hart House once again?
Well, you know, growing up in the industry, my dad had, you know, high highs and low lows. And so in and out of, you know, working in WWE and being a big star there was also these, you know, we document that in the book, just the hard times. And so thankfully, my grandfather opened up his home to us, and he had one room left in the Hart House, and it was my mom's old bedroom when she was a little girl. So, you know, I loved being able to share that story in the book because my grandfather really helped us when we were kids. He really helped save us in so many ways. And my mom's bedroom was, you know, we had one bed. We shared that bed for a long time, and right outside the window of my mom's room that we lived in when we moved back to Calgary was a wrestling ring. And so when I would look out that window, I knew that there was like something down there that was gonna really defined my life.
To see my extended interview with Natty Neidhart, visit ctvnews.ca/Calgary. It looks like we'll get plenty of sunshine this weekend. Right now in Calgary, though, it is mostly cloudy and +2. Danielle has all the details coming up. Well, for those who have a little bit more work to do in the backyard to tidy things up before winter arrives,
don't worry.
They got it this weekend, right?
Got it this weekend, yeah. And all that's fallen is already melting away. And the warmer temperatures, especially on Sunday, yeah, that'll be totally gone. 2 degrees is the daytime high. That's a sad little daytime high considering the 14 we had before. 4 is what's normal for this time of year. And looking at the next 5 days, and I'm showing you the 5 days because Remembrance Day forecast, I'm sure you want to see that. 6 degrees for tomorrow, so a little warmer tomorrow, a lot brighter tomorrow, and calmer winds. It'll be a little windy on Sunday, but that's what will get us into the teens for Sunday and Monday as we get more of a Chinook type setup. And then Remembrance Day on Tuesday, 9 degrees is our high in the afternoon. But around 11 a.m., it looks like it will be about 2, even 3 degrees. I'll keep you posted on that on Monday.
Danielle, thank you. A little bit of snow and wind chill did not stop a group of brave volunteers from wading into the Elbow River today. Citizen scientists with Calgary River Valleys are searching for trout nests, better known as reds. They're a key indicator of water quality and habitat health. Reds are hard to spot, but look like a clean patch of white gravel with distinct dips and mounds in the water. The survey happens every November when brown trout swim upstream to spawn in gravel beds below the Glenmore Dam.
So we have a lot of reds. We know we have good quality habitat that they prefer to spawn in, which is fast-flowing water over clean gravel substrates. So we have a lot of that here in the Elbow River. And it tells us that one of the key aspects of a fish population called recruitment is going well, which means they lay eggs, the eggs hatch, the eggs become young fish, and those young fish grow up to become spawning fish themselves.
Survey results show the Elbow River's trout population has bounced back strongly since the 2013 flood, a sign that restoration work and healthier habitat conditions are truly paying off. Thanks for joining us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.